everyone, it's Kim. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. So before we get started on today's meal prep video, I just wanted to remind you that if you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure that you hit that subscription button below. And hold please. I'm gonna have to lock him out of the kitchen today because he keeps climbing in the kitchen chairs and he keeps touching the camera. I have seriously filmed my "Hey, welcome to my channel" portion 5 times. So finally I'm just gonna pick him up and Hunter will just be here for a minute. So today we are going to do a meal prep, and we are going to be making, I don't want to say we're going to make full dinners today. We're just going to be prepping things for the actual dinners. Breakfast, lunches, snacks, you know the routine. So I'm hoping to get the breakfast sandwiches done, the overnight oats done, my salad with chicken done. I'm going to make his sandwiches and chips. I'm going to go ahead and brown the ground meat for the Big Mac wraps and the enchilada tacos. And those will be chicken taco enchilada. You'll see it. And then I'm going to, we're having Mississippi pot roast this week. I don't think I have to do anything for that other than chop an onion or something. But again, I'll show that later on. Turkey taco soup, I've got a couple things to do for that. And then cheeseburgers, no prep for that one. I'm gonna go ahead and whip together a batch of my candy apple salad and then get some snacks done. So it seems like a lot, but there's not a whole lot of prep that needs to be done with that. There is just some chopping and some separating and measuring and things like that. I know I'm rambling today. I'm gonna go ahead and make myself a protein shake. I'm gonna make my peanut butter cookie. No, those are my overnight oats. I'm gonna make my peanut butter Reese cup protein shake, and I'll show you how I make that. I think I filmed that one before, but I'll go ahead and whip one of those up just so that I have something to, I haven't had breakfast yet, so I probably want to get something in my stomach before I start prepping today. So with that said, I'm going to wash my hands and get ready and lock Mr. Hunter out of here and go ahead and get my meal prep started for today. Having a new kitten, super fun, but challenging sometimes because you don't realize how playful they really are at times. So we're gonna get him out of here and then go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with our protein shake. So we're gonna go ahead and add in 4 ounces or a half a cup of unsweetened vanilla almond milk, and then 4 ounces of water. Now, I don't know about you, but I get tired of having to pull out my measuring cups all the time, so I just took a Sharpie and filled this up to an 8-ounce measurement, and then wrote 8 ounces. I just drew a line and wrote 8 ounces here, so that way 9 times out of 10 when I'm making something, I'm putting 8 ounces or so into my cup, so I just thought it was easier to do that. So we're gonna eyeball 4 ounces of the vanilla almond milk, and again, a half a cup of this is 0 Smart Points, so that looks pretty good. Gonna go ahead and fill it up to that line with water. Okay, there we go. We're gonna add some ice in. Ice is never an exact science. I will tell you that I'm still playing with the water, milk, ice ratio. I never get it right. Sometimes I just have to add more liquid. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add in 1 scoop of protein powder. Today we're gonna use the vanilla milkshake. I really like this one. It's so versatile. So we've got a scoop of that. And if you're wondering why I'm not using my Devotion, the Quest is really good for shakes. The Devotion seems like it's really good for recipes. So I'm keeping the two separated because I did try to make shakes with the Devotion and I wasn't a huge fan, but I'm a huge fan of how well it bakes and how well I can cook with it. So 2 tablespoons of PB2, or in my case, I'm using the PB Fit. And making a mess on my counter. And then 1 teaspoon of cocoa powder. So I just have the Nestle's. If you have the Hershey's or whatever type of cocoa powder, any kind works. So I'm just going to throw in a teaspoon of that. And then we're going to throw our top on and we're going to give that a quick whirl. And then I am going to enjoy a nice, healthy, delicious protein shake. There we go. I've tried to talk over that before and it doesn't work out so well, so now I just wait until it's finished before I start talking again. So I always have my protein shakes in one of my mason jars because I have a ton of them and it just seems like it fits perfectly in there. Not too thick today, which is fine with me because then I can drink it faster. All right, so there you have it. And if you want to get really fancy, you can throw some whipped cream on it. So today we're going to use our Ready Whip. It's a non-dairy almond milk one, and this one is fabulous. Pull my straw there so we can make it look pretty. There we go. How's that? Bring you in a little closer so you can just get a nice little look at that. All right, so I'm going to enjoy this, and then we'll see what's next on our list. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, I guess it's the second thing because I already made my smoothie. So anyway, next up, we're going to go ahead and brown up a pound of ground chicken. And this is the ground chicken that my husband ran through his meat grinder for me. And then I have a package of 96.4 lean ground beef. So we're going to go ahead and make this, go ahead and brown that up for my Big Mac wraps. Now, famous trick, just add some water to the bottom of your pans and it will keep your meat from drying out. So we're going to go ahead and turn on our burners. Get that started and then go ahead and get our meat in the pan. First one, get our chicken in here. And I always leave my water here in case I need to add more. I'm just going to go ahead and add some salt and pepper. Just have regular old salt and pepper shaker grinders. The pepper is just regular black peppercorn and the salt is Himalayan sea salt. Don't know why I can't get that out today. All right, so we've got that in there. We're gonna go ahead and let that do its thing and switch over to our other counter because I think I'm gonna go ahead and whip up a batch of rice next. Give us a quick chop just to kind of break it up a little bit. Spread that out. All right, so we're going to let that do its thing. And let's go see what kind of trouble we can get into on our other counter. Okay, next up we're going to go ahead and get our rice going. I have some jasmine rice from Trader Joe's. And I have 12 ounces of the jasmine rice already rinsed. So I just rinsed that until it became clear. Just kind of scrape most of that out of the jar here. And then we have 12 ounces of water. It's just that simple. I'm just going to pour it in here to see if I can get the rest of that rice out. I don't think a few strands will matter. Kernels, strands, rice pieces, I have no idea what to call it. All right, so I've got that in there and we're just going to throw the top on. Super simple. We're going to put that on sealing. We're going to go ahead and hit our rice button. set it 12 minutes, and we're gonna let it go. So this is one less thing that I have to watch for or pay attention to while I am meal prepping. So we're just gonna let that do its thing, and then we will jump into our next item. Okay, next up are egg sandwiches. I'm not gonna bore you with that because I know I've filmed this a million times. And I also have a standalone video for this one, so go ahead and check that one out. I think it's on my Cook With Me playlist. So I'm gonna go ahead and make up his sandwiches, and you'll notice that I don't have my egg container, you know, this one. Well, what happened is I went to put my new eggs in it, and there was something in it, I don't know, some brown goo. I have no idea where it came from. So I went ahead and washed that before I got started. And I just thought, the reason why I mentioned that is because I've been listening to a podcast, and I listen to several podcasts, but I've been listening to a podcast, and one of the suggestions on the podcast was, if you find something that is seriously less than a 2-minute task, just do it. Don't write it down on a list and go, oh, I need to do that. Just take care of it right now. So when I seen that, I went ahead and pulled my last 3 eggs out of it, and I went ahead and washed that just to get it out of the way. And I was super proud of myself because of the fact that it's done. And I mean, honestly, I probably wouldn't have put the eggs in there because of, you know, that, who knows what dripped in there, or, you know, it happens. But I just figured that way it's done, and it's one less thing that I have to contend with later. So I kind of like that concept where she just said, hey, do it now. Just do it now and get it done and over with. So anyway, gonna make him some bacon and egg and cheese breakfast sandwiches. Lost my train of thought there. But my Instant Pot's over there hissing, so I know it's getting ready to seal. So you know how excited I get when that happens. So anyway, gonna make these. I'll throw a picture in after, you know, in between this one and the next one of his finished egg sandwiches, and then we'll move on to the next thing. See? Kind of exciting, right? Okay, our rice is done. We're just gonna pull the top off of that. There we go. And look at that. Perfectly cooked jasmine rice. How does that look? So yummy. It smells so good. I don't know if you've made jasmine rice before, but I'm telling you, it's got this aroma. It just smells amazing. All right, so we're going to change camera angles again, and then up next, we are going to do our chicken for our salads. Okay, next up, we're gonna throw our chicken breast on our George Foreman grill. And I had just picked up some pre-marinated chicken breast at our local farm market. And I think this was the garlic herb one. So I will be counting points for the marinade for this, but just needed to take a shortcut this week. We're gonna spray our grill with some cooking spray. We're just gonna pop those chicken breasts right on there. Right, there we go. Easy peasy, right? All right, so while those are cooking, we're gonna go ahead and get started on our overnight oats. So we're gonna switch counters again. Okay, let's go ahead and get our oatmeal ready before our chicken gets done. It'll be kind of a little race for me. So we're gonna throw our little funnel there. We're gonna give each of these a 1/3 cup of old-fashioned oats. This week I'm gonna do 2 peanut butter cookie and 3 apple pie oatmeals. Okay, so we've got that in there. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our liquid. And that is a 1/3 cup of unsweetened vanilla almond milk and a 1/3 cup of water. So we're just gonna throw all our milks in first. I'm really hoping I have enough in this container to get me through. Otherwise, I have to make a trip downstairs and bring another one up. I think we're gonna just make it. Just a tiny bit left. And this is not gonna change the points at all. Just wanna get rid of it. All right, so we're just gonna do a 1/3 cup of water in these, and it doesn't have to be exact measurements. Somewhere around 2/3 of a cup is fine for liquids. I always double the amount of liquid for the amount of oatmeal that I use. All right, so that's in there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put apple pie spice in 3 of them. And I'm not really measuring that. I'm just gonna throw some in there. For the 2 that I'm making, I guess I should do it this way. It might be easier for you and not spill them. Let's see if that's better. All right, so 3 apple pie, 2 overnight oats, peanut butter cookie. So a splash of vanilla is going in these 2. Everybody gets a sweet and low. And again, use whatever sweetener you like. I like sweet and low for my oatmeal. All right, one more. Have to grab a tablespoon. I normally keep a tablespoon in my PB Fit, but I don't think it's down far enough yet for me to do that. All right, I'm just gonna get a heaping tablespoon in each of these. I can use up to 2 tablespoons for 1 point. Ooh, I can get it in there now. I always like to keep them in there. I bought extra measuring spoons just for that purpose because a lot of the things that I use all the time, it's easier for me just to leave them in there and be done with it and not have to look for them every single week. So anytime I get a new one, I have to wait until I use some of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and close these up. And for the apple pie ones, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up an apple that day. So I'll just take an apple to work every day with a knife, and then I will just chop up some of my apple for my oatmeal and then eat the rest of the apple with it for breakfast. So there we go, 5 overnight oats, and we beat our chicken. So as soon as that chicken gets done, we'll get started with our next thing. All right, our chicken is now done. Check that out. Nice golden brown grilled chicken for our salad. All right, so I'm gonna let this cool down and then I'll slice this up and we'll have this ready to go. Okay, next up we're going to throw together some coleslaw. This is super simple. I think I've showed this one before. And I think this coleslaw comes out to be 1 smart point per serving, so it's pretty good to have, you know, for a side dish. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add in 4 to 5 packets of sweet and low. Depends on how sweet you want your coleslaw. And again, if you don't like sweet and low or it's not your preference, use any sweetener of your choice. It's just what I have on hand and it's what we use in our house. All right, so we've got that in. I'm gonna grab some salt and pepper. And I just have regular salt and pepper grinders here. Just salt and pepper that to taste. Got a 1/2 cup of light Miracle Whip. So we're gonna throw that in there and we're just gonna start to mix that together. And this is like the easiest recipe ever. And then what's gonna happen is as this sits, the flavors are gonna meld together and this is going to just be the perfect coleslaw for you. And And you always make a mess because that's always making it fun. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna throw this into a container and just throw this right in the fridge. Pretty simple, right? What'd that take us? I mean, by the time we had all our ingredients together, less than 2 minutes. So there we go. Okay, so what we have now is our candy apple salad, and we're gonna go ahead and make a half batch of this because again, I'm the only one that eats this at my house. So if I make a full batch, I'm gonna definitely overeat it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make one batch of that now. So if I was making a full batch, I would use this entire container of yogurt. But since it's just me, I'm gonna make the half a batch. So I have my scale, my food scale out here. And this is that one that I reviewed for E-Tech City. E-Tech City, I think is what it was. And I really like the scale. I actually gave my other one away. I gave my old one away and I just switched to using this one only. So super exciting when you get something you really, really like. So we're gonna measure out 16 ounces of this. I should have done this off camera. Sorry if this is boring. But this is what happens when you meal prep. These are the things that you do. I tried to cut out a little more today for you so that you didn't get super bored. All right, so that's 16.1 ounces, close enough. Sorry, just trying to get the extra off that spoon. Plus I wanted to save some yogurt so that I could make some bagels later. All right, so we have that. I'm going to move my food scale out of the way. And if you were watching my grocery haul, in my grocery haul, I talked about the pineapple tidbits, or any canned pineapple itself. So I had the question come up on my YouTube channel. So I had the question come up on my channel about the canned pineapple scanning it for smart points. And when you scan canned pineapple, it will come up for smart points because it comes up and it's scanning as if you were going to use the juice. Now, if you drain the juice, if you take your tracker, your Weight Watcher app, and you type in pineapple drained, it comes up at 0 smart points. So I just wanted to let you know that because as you make this, sometimes that question comes up and you're like, oh no, it scans as points, what do I do? It's 0 smart points as long as you drain it. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some cheesecake, sugar-free, fat-free cheesecake pudding mix. And we're gonna add in half this package. So this package is 1 ounce. Just gonna throw this right back on our scale. Oh, sorry, I know that was loud. So I'm just gonna put that back on the scale. This bowl's pretty heavy. I'm kind of shocked that it's not. My other one would air out. So we want a 1/2 ounce. Is that what I said? I wish you guys could answer me back sometimes because sometimes I say things and I'm like, oh no, what'd I say? All right, 1/2 ounce is what we need. So we're just gonna pour this in and get as close as we can. All right, I think that's it. Pull that off. Let's do this again. 0.7. I'm going to think that the package is probably about 0.2 ounces. So, okay, we're good. All right, so we have that in there. Now, here's my tip to you. If you like yours a little sweeter, add a pack of sweetener. And I don't know about you, but I have a raging sweet tooth. So I found that if I do that, it just gives it enough extra sweetness that I'm super happy with it. All right, so we have that. We're gonna add in half of our pineapple. after we start to stir this up, I think we should stir it first. I think I made that mistake before, and I was like, oh no, it took me forever to get everything incorporated. So we're just going to, sorry if my hand's in the way, stir that up. And right now the mixture smells like cheesecake. And if you tasted it at this point, it would taste like cheesecake. And sometimes I make this mixture and then I make it into parfaits. That's always super fun. All right, so that's good. So we're gonna add in half a can of pineapple. And I'm just eyeballing that. Again, 0 smart points, so if you used a little more, even if you want to use the whole can. But since I'm only making half a batch, we're just gonna do that. All right, so we have that in there. Last thing we have to do is chop up an apple. Grab my handy dandy knife. I already washed my apples. I have a second apple out here just in case. I always judge the apple portion as to how it looks to me. Sometimes I like to put more apples in mine just to make it, I don't know, a little thicker, a little... You can make it however you want. I mean, it's just, again, a recipe is just a suggestion. All right, so I almost got this done. Now, the original recipe calls for 1 whole apple for the entire batch, and I'm doing a whole apple for a half a batch, so it may just be fine. And I know my knife skills are not perfect. I'm probably making a lot of you nervous. But so far, so good. All right, so there's our apples. Let's get that into our bowl. I am gonna have such a good food week. I am so excited. I'm glad I took the time to do my meal prep today, because sometimes I don't fit a full meal prep in, and it really does hurt me because I'm only doing it to myself, and then when I run into eating some things that I don't need to be eating or snacking on items that, you know, let's be honest, we all snack on things we shouldn't. So there's my candy apple salad. I'll bring it a little closer so you can see. It's probably better to zoom you in, because I think the lighting's better here. Look at that. Pretty yummy, right? Move my spoon. All right, so we've got that done. Let's see what's next on our list. I think we're in the home stretch now. Okay, we were in the home stretch. So the last thing that I have to do is I have to slice onions for our hamburgers. And I already have this one here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and slice this half a red onion. We like to have red onion on our cheeseburgers, and again, my turkey burger or my chicken burger, whichever I decide to have this week. So I've got that done. We're just gonna set that back in the bowl. And then I'm gonna go ahead and chop up this sweet onion for the Mississippi pot roast. And some recipes call for an onion, some recipes do not. The recipe that I originally started using, I used the onion, and I think it's because I don't use the onion soup mix in that one. So, just gonna give this a quick little rinse. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this in half. Gonna give it a really quick, rough chop. Just have to think about it before I cut it. Again, doesn't have to be super small. This is going in the crock pot. And that's it. We're going to throw this in a bowl and we'll have that ready. And it's one less thing that I have to chop when I am throwing this in the crock pot before work, you know, during the week. So the more things that you can get done that you don't have to do later, I mean, just save yourself the steps while you're already in the kitchen. All right, so I will get everything out on the counter. I'll give you a quick recap about what I did today, and then I will sign off. So hang tight. Okay, so this is what we have for our meal prep this week. I'll stack it over here so that I can start showing you. We have 5 overnight oats. I have 3 containers of chips for my husband here. I have 3 sandwiches, and then in the midweek, I'll make the rest of his sandwiches. I only like to make 3 at a time. We have 5 breakfast sandwiches for him. I have the onions that I cut up and the red onion that I sliced. This is our 1.5 pounds of ground chicken, our pound of ground beef that's already browned. I had those leftover pineapples. I figured I'd just throw them in a container and snack on those throughout the week. Here's our candy apple salad. Here's our chicken for our salads. And I'm just gonna go ahead and make those off camera. If I think about it, I'll try to take a picture when I'm done with those, and then I'll stick it at the end of the video. Here's our jasmine rice and our coleslaw. So you can see how this is really going to save me time during the week, and now it's just going to be a no-brainer, just a grab and go kind of deal for myself and my husband. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I hope that you have done some meal prep in your own kitchen today to make your week easier, and let me know if you give any of these things a try. And I will try like heck to remember to put some of these recipes below, but most of the ones that you're seeing in front of you are in my Cook With Me's, or like my rice would be in my Instant Pot playlist. So hopefully they're easier to find. I did take the time to go through and try to organize those a little better for you. All right, so I'm gonna get the stuff back in the fridge. That I didn't expect this to be such a feat, but by the time I put it all away and pulled it back out, not sure I'll keep this format next time, but we'll see. All right. Signing off. Again, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.